In a kingdom wrapped in soft morning mist and shining rivers, there lived a young princess named Ilara. She was gentle, curious, and loved wandering through the palace gardens, where roses opened like little suns and birds sang melodies as sweet as honey. Yet even with all her beauty and kindness, Ilara often felt lonely. Her heart longed for a true friend, someone who would understand her dreams. One warm evening, when the sky glowed pink and gold, Ilara walked to the enchanted forest just beyond the castle walls. At its center was a shimmering pond, smooth as a glass mirror. This pond was said to be touched by old magic, the kind that lingered quietly in places where wishes were made. Ilara sat on a stone and whispered into the still water, "I hope I find someone who truly sees me." As she spoke, her golden ball, a gift from her mother, slipped from her hands and rolled into the pond with a soft plop. It sank out of sight, leaving ripples that glimmered like tiny stars. Oh no, Ilara knelt at the edge, sadness pressing on her chest. That ball held every memory of her childhood. She didn't want to lose it. Just then, a gentle croak came from the reeds. A small green frog hopped forward, his emerald eyes bright as jewels. "I can fetch your golden ball," he said, his voice soft but clear. Ilara gasped. You can talk." The frog nodded, a shy smile in his eyes. "Many things can happen in this forest, but if I return your ball, will you promise to be my friend?" Ilara hesitated. To princess and a frog it sounded impossible. But her heart was kind, and her loneliness was deep. "Yes," she replied, her voice barely a whisper. "I promise." The frog dove into the pond with a splash. Moments later, he returned with the golden ball shining brighter than before. Ilara's joy sparkled across her face as she hugged it close. "Thank you," she said warmly. But when the frog asked, "May I visit the castle as your friend?" her smile faded. She didn't want to hurt him, but she also wasn't sure the king would welcome a frog inside the palace. Still, a promise was a promise. She whispered, "Come tomorrow." The next day, the little frog arrived at the grand castle gates. Many guards frowned, unsure what to do with such a small, unusual visitor. But Ilara came running when she heard his voice. She had promised, so she lifted him gently in her palms and brought him inside, past the bewildered stares of the court. Days turned into weeks, and to her surprise, the frog was wise, funny, and unfailingly loyal. He listened patiently when she spoke of her deepest fears and secret hopes. He made her laugh with his clever jokes in moments when she wanted to cry. Slowly, beautifully, she realized he was the very friend she had wished for by the pond. He saw her not as a princess, but as a lot. One night, as a soft rain tapped gently against her window, the frog looked up at her with a profound sadness in his emerald eyes. "Princess," he said quietly, "may I tell you the truth?" Ilara knelt beside him, her heart open. "Of course, I was not always a frog," he confessed, his voice trembling. "A wicked spell stole my true form. Only kindness freely given, without fear or disgust, can break the curse." I hoped you would see me for who I am inside." Her heart swelled with a powerful mix of pity and affection. She lifted him gently and, looking into his jewel-like eyes, whispered, "I do see you. You are my truest friend." At her words, a warm golden light rippled through the room. The frog began to glow like a small, brilliant star, brighter and brighter, until Elara had to shield her eyes from the dazzling display. When the light finally faded, a young prince stood before her. His hair glimmered like copper fire, and his eyes, still the same gentle, familiar emeralds, shone with overwhelming gratitude. "You freed me," he said, his voice thick with emotion. Elara's breath caught in her throat. "I only kept my promise." The prince smiled, a smile that reached his soul, and that, he said softly, was enough. News of the spell's breaking swept through the kingdom like a joyful wind. The king, overjoyed, welcomed the prince with open arms. Soon the palace, once quiet with Elara's loneliness, was filled with music, laughter, and the soft, sweet scent of blooming jasmine. Elara and the prince spent their days exploring the gardens, wandering through the enchanted forest, and talking for hours by the shimmering pond where their story had first begun. As time passed, their deep friendship blossomed into something even more profound, a love as gentle as spring sunshine and as honest as morning dew. When they were finally married, the whole kingdom celebrated. Lanterns floated into the night sky like thousands of tiny, personal moons. And the enchanted pond glimmered with the blessing of old magic once again. And so, Princess Elara and the prince lived happily their lives, a testament to the idea that true beauty is found not in what we see, but in the kindness within our hearts. When we keep our promises and look beyond appearances, we discover a magic far greater and more powerful than any spell. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more tales of magic and heart. See you next time.